Well, if we have a collapse in birth rate, which is happening almost everywhere in the world, then humanity will dwindle to nothing.
Population collapse due to low birth rates is a much bigger risk to civilization than global warming. That's according to Elon Musk, and it's not the first time he's brought up this issue. So, during my recent interview with Elon following the fourth flight of Starship, I wanted to bring up this topic, and I didn't have as much time as I wanted to ask him questions, but I did bring up something he's been sounding the alarm on for a while now: the declining birth rates across the globe, which he thinks is the biggest threat to humanity. So of course there was going to be a part 2 for my Elon interview. I didn't want to give away all of the footage, and part of the reason I wanted to save it is because this video has a very different topic than Starship launches. And one of the countries suffering the most is Japan, which I happened to visit recently. With roughly 125 million people, Japan will have trouble keeping their population stable if the fertility rate doesn't improve. Unfortunately, it's been falling for many years and has now hit another record low. So low that the government is stepping in to try and encourage young people to get married and start families. How are they doing this? Using AI and launching their own dating app. People often fear AI as something that will eventually overtake and wipe us out, but in this case, Japanese government officials are hoping an AI-based matchmaker can help make more humans before it's too late. Despite Japan's population of nearly 125 million, last year only about 727,000 births were recorded, and the fertility rate, which means the total number of births a woman has in her lifetime, dropped from 1.26 to 1.20. Well, that's already below the rate needed for a population to remain stable, which is a 2.1 rate. So how long has Japan been in trouble? A while. The fertility rate has been well below stable for half a century. It fell in the 1973 global oil crisis recession and never recovered. Now the number of deaths are overtaking births, which affects Japan's workforce, economy, welfare system, and social society. In 2023, the country recorded 1.57 million deaths, according to the health ministry. That was more than double than the number of births. And love is apparently not in the air, with marriages also decreasing and even divorces on the rise. And while the government is trying to change the numbers, it will take a while to even it out. Even if Japan were to improve its fertility rate overnight, the population will continue to fall until the ratio of young people to older adults balances out. In Tokyo, local officials are trying to balance the numbers by launching a government-run dating app. Right now, it's still being tested, but will be fully operational soon, and the website says, please use it as the first step to begin marriage hunting. According to a CNN article, users are asked to take a values diagnostic test, but there's also an option to put in the desired traits of a future partner. Users must be single, over 18 years old, and with a desire to get married, and be living or working in Tokyo. But even that criteria is part of the issue. Many people don't have any desire to get married. Japanese are increasingly single and disinterested in dating. Back in April, when I visited Japan and met up with one of my female fans, I asked her about this issue.
The birth rate that you mentioned, it's so difficult for mom who took time off from work for about 10 years, just like me, to get back to work. And there's no like babysitter like you guys have in the States. The system, we don't have that. We kind of have it, but it's not common at all. We're expected to take care of the kids. And some people choose to use kindergarten and all that, but it's not that common as in the States. It's really hard for a female to keep the job and get back to the job after having kids. And then what do you think that would happen? That means less kid, because I have only one child. If I had like 3 or 4, I'm never gonna have a chance to get back to work environment.
So is it that most women don't want to just stop working and have their kids?
My sister was. She didn't want to have kids. She wanted to keep working.
Oh.
For instance. And I think there are a lot of people like that who have steady job, good income, and
So is there less of a desire to find a man that can take care of you, that can pay for you?
no, it's for a job, I think. They want career.
Elon even commented on this clip with Takai, saying, "Must be more to it than that. Japan is experiencing an accelerated collapse in population." And referring to the dating app, Elon commented, "I'm glad the government of Japan recognizes the importance of this matter. If radical action isn't taken, Japan and many other countries will disappear."
Can I ask you about being a father? I know that the declining birth rate is something that is very near and dear to you. It's a crisis. I am planning on becoming a mother myself,
right.
And why is this issue so important to you beyond just preserving the light of consciousness?
Well, if we have a collapse in birth rate, which is happening almost everywhere in the world, then humanity will dwindle to nothing, and that's really what's happening. So we have to take immediate steps, I think, to increase the birth rate, or there just won't, no new humans means no humanity. So I think most people are not aware of the degree to which birth rates have sort of imploded throughout the world.
A lot of people throughout the world. Why do you think that's happening? What is your sense?
I don't know. I think at least part of it may be that people lack a guiding philosophy that or a reason to have kids or be optimistic about the future. My opinion on this is that we want to be very much an expansionist civilization. We want to go out there and see the stars and find out what the universe is all about, maybe discover alien civilizations. And I think that's a very exciting future, and one where we get to understand more and more about the nature of the universe. And that's my guiding philosophy, is one of curiosity about the universe. And and if the more humans we have, I think that increases the scope and scale of consciousness, and better enables us to understand the nature of the universe and ask the questions about the answer that is the universe.
Well, you have tiny humans. What's your favorite part about being a dad?
Well, I think kids bring me a lot of joy. I think that's normal for parents. I love my kids, and I think people should have kids. I think they won't regret it.
The government is not just trying out a dating app in Tokyo. They're also expanding childcare facilities, offering housing subsidies to parents, and in some places even paying couples to have children. And it's not just Japan. Italy, too, is suffering, so much so the Pope spoke out about it recently.
Non si fanno bambini. È più comodo avere un cagnolino.
Pope Francis says no one has children anymore. It's easier to have a puppy. We have to take the birth rate problem seriously. Take it seriously because a country's future rests upon it. The future rests upon it. Having children is a duty of survival and moving forward. Consider this. This is not publicity for a birthplace agency. No. But I want to highlight this. The birth rate crisis. It must be seriously considered. Pope Francis is urging Italians to have children, calling for long-term policies to help families and warning the country's demographic crisis was threatening the future. The Pope said the number of births is the first indicator of the hope of a people. Without children and young people, a country loses its desire for the future. This was the Pope's latest appeal for Italy. Italy's birth rate, which is already one of the lowest in the world, has been falling steadily for about 15 years and reached a record low last year with 379,000 babies born. According to The Lancet, a peer-reviewed medical journal, the issue is worldwide. A March article has the headline, "Dramatic declines in global fertility rates set to transform global population patterns by 2100. They predict that by 2050, over 3/4 of countries will not have high enough fertility rates to sustain population size over time. This will increase to 97% of countries by 2100. And the authors of the study warn that national governments must plan for emerging threats to economies, food security, health, the environment, and geopolitical security brought on by these demographic changes that are set to transform the way we live. So comment below and tell me why you think that we're seeing this decline, if you actually think it's a crisis, and what do you think can be done to solve this issue? And maybe there is a future where we have a decreased population size, but we also know that the humanoid robots are coming, and they're coming in hot. And Elon says that we might have double the amount of Optimus robots per human. So 2 robots to every 1 human, which means that we will have an increasing population of bipedal humanoid robots. So yes, the future will look a lot different. And I just thought that this would be an interesting video to make. This is something that Elon talks about a lot. So while I didn't have a lot of time, I decided to ask him about it briefly. And I'm very thankful that he gave me the time that he did on a launch day, because he didn't have to give me that time. And so hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to Ellie in Space. Oh my gosh, we broke over 100,000 subscribers. That's amazing. And thank you so much for supporting the growth of my channel. It's been really exciting to see the changes since the Elon interview, and I'm just so grateful for all of the new subscribers hopping on board. So I'll see you in the next video.